So I'm bringing in now John Furrier, who I mentioned earlier on in the show. He is the co-founder of SiliconANGLE, but also the host of theCUBE. So John, what an exciting day here at the Exchange. I just want to dive into this conversation about how Nike is really leveraging AI technology to transform the way they do business.
Yeah. I mean, Nike's no stranger to innovation. If you go back in the 90s, the whole aerobic wave hit, they were on it with apparel, the performance of their products. Now we're in a modern era where AI is data-driven, so they're about data, but they're integrating technology into all their products, and that's a key thing. They're known for their performance, but now they have data performance, gathering data on athletes, and the key is the products have integrated technology into the products. That allows them to get the data they need to kind of enter in this wave around AI and digital presence, and these athletes, they have digital footprints. Unlike traditional cable, they're the stars.
But you know what, it's not only beneficial to the manufacturer or the company who's implementing, right, this AI technology, but also hugely beneficial for the players themselves, right? Because they could track their own progress, their performance, and how they could continuously get better in the game, right?
Yeah, the teams, the players and the coaches use the technology that are tracking their performance, their movements, their speed. It's changing the formation of the teams as well as the performance of the athlete. And as athletes these days look at their performance, you got biohacking trend. People are really focusing on their health and look to the stars and the athletes as kind of role models. There's a huge thing, women's soccer, women's basketball, all sports down to the youth level are integrating data into the performance and ultimately the satisfaction. And the fans get that in the applications.
And you know, it was so interesting because when I was out covering CES last year in Las Vegas, we got to see a little preliminary sneak peek, so to speak, about all of the tech that was hitting the markets just last year, including that sports bra that you and I were talking about, you know, about how women are able to just wear a sports bra that has that built-in technology to track their progress.
Yeah, I mean, that's a key thing, and I've seen examples of this where people who are not on their game or slower in practice, the coaches see that, they make real-time formations around team formation, and then ultimately the fan experience gets that data, so as you get augmented reality and virtual reality, people can have immersive experience with that data and actually get actual movement. So the fan experience is not just on the athletes, it's the movement of the data and also translates into all the cool apps that are coming out, and ultimately people get better at their performance. And with digital, they can do other things, seek health recommendations, also work on their game.
And I do want to talk more about the whole fan experience and how we're seeing companies implement through this technology, enhance that overall fan experience.
Yeah, I mean, when the fans can see the data, they can actually track all kinds of stats on the screens. You see that thing with NFL, with the game cast, you got all the stats. And the fans can see more behind the game and then take that offline after the game is over and create a digital twin of the experience and really kind of rock that whole connection to the athlete and the team.
So it's basically taking the whole experience on and off the court or the field in this situation. What kind of trends right now are you seeing when it comes to the overall sports sector, and what are companies doing? Are there any specific sports that are implementing this sort of technology more so than others?
Well, all the sports are looking at analytics. You see that in the NFL is a big thing. NHL, women's soccer, women's basketball. The analytics are now driving a lot of the decision making on how the teams will perform in real time. Halftime adjustments used to be a locker room thing. Now they're doing adjustments in real time during the game. Everyone's got applications. So the whole gamers are changing around the role of data. AI will make that easier to surface the insights in real time. That's going to be the key thing.
So where do you see the landscape then going over the next 10 to 12 years?
Well, I think it's going to be the fans will be included in it. I think you're going to see a lot more voting with the fans. You see coaching being augmented. It's all about augmenting the human in the loop. That's going to be the fan and the coaches.
And what are some other big trends that you're following right now in the AI and tech space and what you're covering on SiliconANGLE and theCUBE?
Well, the big thing right now is that the performance of these chips that are coming out are becoming so strong, the applications are going to adjust. Just like during the PC revolution in the 80s, as the chips got faster, the apps got better. So we're going to see a tsunami of applications become better, faster, more intelligent, and with agent technology coming out, you're going to see a lot more new things that we've never seen before.
Now, I do want to bring the conversation back to, obviously, WNBA's team, Liberty here, celebrating their championship. Ringing the opening bell. How do you see partnerships like Nike investing in women's sports, leveraging or perhaps opening the doors for other major partnerships?
I think Nike's a real signal. Their brand is so strong. They have the data. And if you look at what Nike's done over the years, they invest in innovation, but the athletes are the center of the brand. So I think Nike is sending a signal that, hey, as the digital culture emerges, you're going to see fans do things differently. And I think with media, getting exposure to women's sports has been the key driver to their success And I think that's going to be the key going forward, that getting more exposure will impact the economics of the business model, and that's where you start to see Instagram, TikTok, digital technologies open up the aperture for more exposure and ultimately more revenue. And Nike gets that, and they also want the fans forever.
What are some other brands that are also investing heavily when it comes to the sports sector, specifically women's sports?
Well, a lot of the cloud guys, Amazon, IBM, they're all investing in technology because to run a team and to run the fan experience is a technology, holistic, integrated experience. So you're seeing owners and coaches look at technology as an enabler for them.
And you know, I also see a lot of these massive digital streaming services, like you mentioned, Amazon and Netflix, streaming now major sports teams. There's even been conversations we were having with FanDuel when they were here about streaming the Super Bowl. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, streaming's awesome because it's just basically TV on the internet, and you're going to see a lot more channels and a lot more content. Personalization will be a big deal, and I think we're going to still lean back and watch TV, but also you're going to see spot programming, like watch Instagram Reels, YouTube videos. Those are kind of like snackable content, but ultimately you're going to see a lot more new programming come out of the streaming, and that's going to be a good thing.
A lot to look out for. Thank you so much, John. It's a pleasure as always.
Okay, thank you.